The crystal chambers of the Galactic Council fell into an eerie silence as Ambassador Zekthon of the Altarian Federation stood before the assembled delegates. His four eyes, each capable of seeing across different spectrums, dimmed with what could only be described as terror. The holographic display behind him flickered, showing astronomical charts that had taken his people 3 cycles to verify. Esteemed council members, Zekthon's voice trembled through his translator. We have discovered something that changes everything we thought we knew about the species that calls itself human. Council Speaker Thies, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline shell, pulsed with impatience. Get to the point, Ambassador. We have trade disputes to resolve and territorial claims to review. Zekthon's tentacles writhed nervously as he manipulated the holographic controls. The display zoomed in on a small blue-green world orbiting an unremarkable yellow star. This is the planet the humans call Earth, but that is not its true name. A collective murmur rippled through the chamber. The Vorthak delegate, a massive creature resembling a metallic spider, clicked its mandibles in confusion. All species name their homeworlds. What relevance does this have? Because, Zekthon said, his voice dropping to barely above a whisper, we have accessed their deepest historical archives. We have learned what they call their world in their most ancient languages, in their oldest texts in their primordial tongues. The display shifted, showing layers upon layers of linguistic data, archaeological evidence, and historical records stretching back millennia. Ancient symbols and words in dozens of human languages appeared and disappeared in rapid succession. The humans, Zekthon continued, have always known what their world truly is. They have called it by many names throughout their history. But the meaning remains constant across every culture, every civilization that has ever existed on its surface. Speaker Thies's energy form pulsed brighter. Speak plainly. Zekthon manipulated the display one final time. Ancient human languages appeared: Sanskrit, Old Norse, Latin, Mandarin, Arabic, Sumerian. The words varied, but as the translation matrix processed them, a single terrifying meaning emerged. Terra, Midgard, DQ, Ard Eretz, Kai. The chamber held its breath. Every single name, Zekthon's voice cracked, translates to the same thing. They all mean battleground. The silence that followed was deafening. Slowly, horrifyingly, the implications began to sink in. The Galactic Council had welcomed a species that didn't name their homeworld after paradise, after life, after beauty or abundance like every other civilized race in the galaxy. They named it after war itself. Councillor Vex of the peaceful hegemony, whose species had eliminated conflict from their society 10,000 years ago, spoke in a voice hollow with dawning realization. You mean to tell us that these humans who presented themselves as explorers and diplomats come from a world they literally call the War Planet? Zekthon nodded grimly. It gets worse. Our xenoarchaeologists have studied their entire planetary history. Do you know what we found? Evidence of continuous warfare stretching back to their earliest civilizations. Not occasional conflicts over resources or territory. Constant, never-ending combat. They have been fighting each other for over 10,000 of their years. The ethereal collective's representative, a being of shifting mists and whispered thoughts, emanated waves of disbelief. Impossible. No species could survive such aggression toward their own kind. They would have destroyed themselves. That's what we thought too, Zekthon replied, bringing up statistical analyses. But we were wrong. The warfare didn't weaken them, it forged them. Every generation became stronger, more innovative, more adaptable than the last. They didn't just survive their endless conflicts, they thrived because of them. The data streams showed technological advancement curves that defied all known patterns of civilization development. Where other species required peace and cooperation to advance, humans had weaponized everything, including their own progress. Their greatest leaps in technology, their most profound philosophical developments, their most beautiful art, all of it born from conflict. They turned warfare into an engine of evolution. Counselor Murdoch of the trade guilds, his crystalline form resonating with nervous frequency, asked the question everyone was thinking. What does this mean for us? Zekthon's display shifted to show human expansion patterns since joining the galactic community. They've been among us for barely 50 standard years. In that time, they've established colonies in the most hostile environments we've ever surveyed. places where our best terraforming teams failed. They call challenging but manageable. The display showed human settlements thriving on worlds with crushing gravity, toxic atmospheres, and extreme temperatures. Worlds that the galaxy's greatest civilizations had marked as uninhabitable. They don't see obstacles, Zekthon continued. They see puzzles to solve, enemies to defeat, and they're very, very good at both. Speaker Theiss dimmed noticeably. Are you suggesting the humans are a threat to galactic peace? I'm suggesting, Zekthon said quietly, that we completely misunderstood what we invited to join us. We thought they were like us, beings who had outgrown conflict and embraced civilization. But they haven't outgrown anything. They've simply aimed their battlefield instincts at the universe itself. The chamber erupted in alarmed discussions. Some called for immediate sanctions, others for careful observation. The Warhawks of the Crimson Sector suggested preemptive action, while the Pacifist Alliance demanded calm deliberation. Through it all, Zekthon stood silently, remembering his recent visit to a human colony. He had watched children, actual juvenile humans, playing games that would have traumatized adult members of most galactic species. Games that simulated combat, required strategic thinking, and celebrated victory over adversity. Games that prepared them for a universe their species saw as just another battleground to conquer. As the debate raged around him, Zekthon couldn't shake the memory of something else he'd witnessed on that human world. A memorial wall listing the names of their fallen, with an inscription that still sent chills through his exoskeleton. They died so that we might explore the stars. Their sacrifice made us worthy of the infinite battlefield that awaits. The galaxy had indeed learned Earth's real name, and with that knowledge came the terrifying understanding that humanity's greatest conquest was yet to come. Not through warfare against other species, but through their relentless determination to make the entire universe their battleground. In the end, the Council reached no consensus that day. But as the delegates filed out of the crystal chambers, each returned to their worlds carrying the same chilling realization. The humans weren't just another member species. They were what happened when a battleground learned to fight among the stars.